Minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock, we're going to hear from the president before we get to the top. But prior to that, very good friend of the show, and every once in a while we reach out and chat with each other and try to get him on to talk about some of the topics of the day. And today, that day is today, and that man is Joe Visconti. Joe, good morning. How are you, man?
Great. How you doing, Lee?
I'm doing well. What have you been up to, man?
I've been in love for a couple of years, so I've been missing in action in politics.
Love will do that to you, man. Love will do
right.
it.
To hell with that stuff. I did enough decades fighting the fight, but I couldn't walk away when I saw this crazy stuff going on with Aaron Stewart. It was just crazy. I've been on it for about 3 weeks, and again, I love Erin as a person. She got kids, she's a mom, and all that stuff. But there's just so much happening there. I thought I'd put out to the public a lot of details, questions, and let them assume what they're going to do at the convention on Saturday. But somebody has to push back. And I know we have Ben Proto, our chairman, on your show on Mondays, but Ben's he's missing in action. He's not going to make a statement, and somebody has to. And we don't have many heavy hitters out there that are really going to step up and say, hey, here's what's going on. I don't care what you think about it. These are the facts. And so that's why I'm on your show.
All right, share with us the facts. I want to hear what you got.
Well, first of all, Gary Byron, I heard that interview. He's completely wrong with the nominee at the top of the ticket, okay? You're at the top of the ticket on the ballot for the primary, so it does have a value. And so I love Gary, but no, I disagree with that one. Becoming the nominee is very important. Again, lots of the nominees don't win, like Leora beat Themis and all that, so I was just on the phone with Leora, as a matter of fact. She wants to get on your show and talk to you about a few things that are, I think, in love with oil in Iraq.
Okay.
But I'm digressing here. So let's go right away with what's going on. The people that are hitting me and others that are bringing out a lot of facts are her supporters that are going through the 5 stages of grief. They're in denial, and now they're moved into anger. And because a lot of them can't believe that Aaron would have these skeletons or these things happening from the bride. Simple question. Can Aaron Stewart use CEPST grant that's up to $18 million if she becomes a nominee after the primary? Can she use even the primary $3 million for her legal defense for potential crimes or defense of things she did when she was a New Britain mayor? The CEP was created because of John Rowland and corruption. Could she actually use legal defense money? I think she's waiting for the answer like I am from the lawyers. They told me it's complicated. Wait a minute. What does that mean? Does that mean that when they wrote these CEP regulations, they didn't put the criteria in that said you can't use that? Trump did that when he was running for president, but that's the federal races. In this application, this is state races. So they don't know, and I don't think she knows yet. And so I'm pressing it with the attorneys to find out, can she legally pay attorneys to defend her potential possible crimes from being the mayor way before this particular run for governor? And so everybody's waiting for that legal answer from the lawyers at the state elections enforcement. Very important. So she's got a lot of problems, and she probably lawyered up. I love what Vinny Candelora said, the House Minority Leader, yesterday. Right. He said, if I was her, I'd stop talking and get a lawyer. And he's not wrong.
You know, Joe, as I mentioned earlier, you know, you have an idea when you're doing something that may not be on the up and up, right? So whether she thought it was full out illegal or whether she thought she was going to get caught or any of this stuff, I mean, running for governor, you have to know that they are going to dig through everything that you have ever done and try to find this stuff. So my question to you is, do you think she knew this was coming, or do you think she was oblivious to it?
I think the people around her, I'm not going to mention names, but everyone is probably going to be under oath soon. From the phone calls I got from some Democrats in New Britain and places that I can only say maybe they're hearsay, the investigation has all their social media captured for all of the products that she took and bought and wore with her children, and everything is already out there, and they captured that during the investigation. So they're going to line that up with her purchases, and she's probably having an awakening now going, wait a minute. I think she went into denial, and she felt that she was untouchable. I don't think she thought it was a crime. I really think she didn't, just like the bribery with charges that could have come from people trying to bribe her on the Dennis House interview. Oh, your public missed that one. That was unbelievable. She said 100% of the time they were scary bribery attempts, and she didn't report them as lost dates to authorities.
Right.
And then she came back the next day and said they were just little old ladies. So when she's caught, she deflects or lies. And this is her problem. She can't escape what's coming, and it's very sad to see that. She's a mom. I'll say it again. She's got children. Nobody wants. My daughter's her age. Nobody wants this kind of thing for anybody. And so I don't believe it was intent. And I think this is the key question that people should ask. Did she intend? What was her intentions? That's where criminal charges come from. What were your intentions?
Right.
And the people around her, Lee, they either covered it up or just put it down as office expenses. So the people around her, if there's any type of cover-up or anything, you could be looking at RICO charges. You could have the federal government involved, the FBI, if it's over $500,000. I just think all authorities in the world are coming at her. And for the next few months during this primary, it's going to be a complete distraction. And we don't need that. But, again, to reinforce my statements, I just don't think she comprehended the depth of what this was, and she went into some kind of a mental state every time she picked up the credit card and ordered Instacart or the bras or the invitations, and there's just hundreds and hundreds of personal items that she cannot account for. So right now, I believe she's being quiet and looking to get that. Basically, I think it's about $3 million you get on Saturday. If she gets 15% and doesn't win the nomination, but gets 15%, she's going to get that check. Yeah. Within a few days, you get $3 million. And so all of her people are looking at her, probably saying, "Do this, do that." People want to be paid. There's expenses. There's things that they're prepared to lay out and roll out. You prepare all your purchases. And by the way, Lee, I ran for governor for 19 months, and the world came at me. Right. The world, folks listening at home or in your cars, come at you. Everything comes microscopes. You have no clue. Yeah. You better be clean. You better know where. I mean, they got me basically a picture of some girl with me with no shirt on. Yeah. I mean, that was it. I had pants on, but they did anything, to try to come and get you because they want you out. And you have to know that. And Aaron's been an elected official. I was elected as a West Hartford counselor. I fought Blueback for years back in the day, and they came at me then, the developers. So you have to, know this. They're going to come at you, and so she should have known.
So do you think that people, surrounding her, people in the Republican Party, you mentioned Ben, do you think they're handling her with these kid gloves purposely? What do you think is behind that, or is it just what I talked about earlier? There's a want in all of this for it to not be true, right?
Well, they've all done. Listen, it's all legal, but they've all done politics. A lot of people are like, it's dirty, it's corrupt. Things are. Yeah, Ben Prota's rigged it. Ben Prota basically worked behind the scenes to rig pushing out Leora Levy. He did it. I sat there with Gary Byron and watched it all go down in the room. But that's politics. And Elisa Scrivato, she gets a nomination. Sue Hatfield sits there. Everybody, I'm mentioning names because it's not crimes, it's politics. And you all decide, we don't want you anymore. We want you. It was dirty. It's not nice. It feels corrupt. But that's called politics. That's not criminal, okay? Like it or not, I've had it happen to me. Yeah. I've watched it go down. It's horrible. You better have a thick skin. So Ben needs to make a statement. Today is Wednesday, hump day. Ben Proto, you put out a statement. We're coming to headquarters with bullhorns. Make a statement. Say something. Don't leave this up to the delegates. You don't have to beat up Aaron, right. But you have to say, listen, there's some things that came out. Blah, blah. Make a statement, Ben. Don't hide. You're a lawyer. You know better. Make a statement. I shouldn't have to be out here. I'm retired, and there's other people out there doing these things. We shouldn't have to do this. The leadership requires Ben Proto to make a statement, and he's not.
Very much in love, Joe Visconti joining us today. We always love his commentary. He always finds things that we may not see the first couple of times around. In this case, he has dug and found out whether or not, or the question is out there as to whether or not Aaron can use the citizens' money to fund a defense if it gets to that point. If you were a wagering man, and this event is happening at Mohegan Sun, so maybe FanDuel will take action on it. Does Erin probably gets the 15%, but does she get the endorsement?
I think I'll put money on it. Basically, this is funny. She was self-dealing as the mayor of New Britain. Don't try that at the casino this weekend, Aaron. She'll get the nomination. They're going to give it to her. They're going to give it to her, and I'll tell you why. Get ready for this, folks at home. And also election officials, you better listen at the state of Connecticut. Here's how it works when they audit. And I've been audited after you get audited for your campaign finances. The auditors don't look at second, third, or fourth-party expenditures. In other words, Lee, I'm the campaign. I'm going to hire Lee Elci as a consultant to get out the vote. This is after I'm funded. Whatnot. Right. But I also could wink, wink, nod, nod at a convention, and you're an operator that works for the GOP, maybe an RTC chairman, maybe a delegate, whatever. There's plenty of them out there getting paid legally to work on campaigns, as they're also delegates. So they can be paid later on when she or even Ryan could do this. I'm not accusing her of it. So what happens is I hire you, Lee. You go hire, I don't know, Doc, what's his name over there you had on the show? And then he hires 500 people that are delegates and RTC chairman to go out and get out the vote for September and October, legitimately, legally. Those names of those delegates and those RTC chairmen are not audited, are not visible to the general public. That's how they mask and hide the fact that they're a delegate pushing for their candidate. In this application, again, we have $21 million for the nominee if they get past in primary and win. $18 million will come in August.
Yeah.
All these people are basically going to stick with her that are inside her machine she built with her operators to get their payday. They weren't promised it. I'm not going to accuse her of that. But this is how the game is played, and you'll never know the delegates, and I won't name the names here because I know them all, that will be getting paid to stick with her now. In fact, this is a little history if you have a minute.
Sure.
2012, Jerry Labriola was chairman. Him and I were very close. And I had him, and Linda McMahon agreed to do it, create a rule for the convention that any delegate that was being paid on Linda's campaign or anyone's campaign had to wear a badge at the convention, and they did. I stood there at the casino and I watched them wearing badges. Why? I'm a delegate. I'm coming up to you, Lee. I want your vote. You got to switch over from this guy to Linda.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to. And then you say, okay, but if you had a badge on and you knew I came up to you and I'm being paid by her, now I'm not lobbying you for good intentions to pick Linda or Rob Simmons, whoever the heck it was. It wasn't that. I'm lobbying you because I'm getting paid.
Right.
Right? And that's another legal.
Yeah, well, Simmons talks. Rob talks about that all the time on the show. He's very. I mean, it's one of the low points for him in his political career when the Republican Party sold him out for Linda McMahon and her $50 million.
Yeah, Rob knows all about it. Him and I are thick as thieves on these issues. But we did that in 2012, so at least you know, as a delegate, there's 1,100 of you, that somebody's lobbying you, and you know them. Yeah. But now you know they're paid. Well, that's not happening in this convention, so you won't know who's being paid. From the present $3 million, or not $3 million, I think it's $1.5 million Aaron got and Ryan got.
Right.
But this goes on. Again, it's not criminal. These are loopholes and things the general public has no idea how the machinery works.
Right.
So you have that happening, and then you pile on a level of this, where investigators are all over everybody. You're going to have the FBI in here because what I'm hearing, it's more than just this credit card.
Okay.
And there's rumblings. I won't say right now things I have been told because they're secondhand, but most of what I know usually ends up right. So there's things that happen. And again, it may have just been stunad, we call it in Italian, stupidity.
Right.
The gang that couldn't shoot straight. Three Stooges campaign, managers that didn't really know what the hell they were doing.
Right.
One way or the other, whether it's crime or stupid, do you want that as a governor with a credit card? Would she continue doing this if Aaron Stu was governor with a credit card if she wasn't stopped at this? I'm sure if she's governor now, she won't. We'll all be watching. But come on, we shouldn't be here at this level.
Joe Visconti, always a pleasure to chat with you, buddy. You always bring something new to the table. One last thing, and we got to go, is after Saturday, do we leave with 2 candidates or 3 for governor?
I think, from what I heard, this is rumor. This is not. I can't say it's true, but it's rumored that Aaron would try to help Betsy get 15%. She'd like her in there to peel votes off from Ryan. The way Larson, by the way, John Larson, I ran against in 08, actually helped Jillian Gilchrist from West Hartford, who didn't have enough. When he did give those to Jillian, the West Hartford delegates went over to Luke Cronin and screwed poor John Larson
right.
and gave him the nomination. So, yeah, again, I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but there's a lot of that stuff. Because John Larson wants Jillian in there. She's going to peel from Bronin, and John Larson wants to be because he's bored. He wants some competition. He's enjoying this game. He's going to clean the clock of Luke Bronin and send him back to Greenwich.
All right, brother. Listen, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you, man. Keep up the good work. Are you going? Are you going to go this weekend or no?
Absolutely not. I'm going to be rolling political grenades in the psychic world on Facebook.
All right, fair enough. I'll see you later. Thank you, bud.
Bye-bye.
All right, we'll be back. Trump.